2 weeks ago, Wolfie talked about anxiety and worry, what Jesus says about that. And last week, Nati talked about prejudice, looking at our hearts and how do we see other people. But today, I decided to take the topic of busyness because I've moved over to London or back to London about 3 months ago. And we spent time in South Africa and Kenya, and things were a lot slower. Kenya, there was kind of no post to the houses. And South Africa, if you received post, it was hit and miss. So I was there this week ordering something on Amazon. Now, Amazon's amazing. You order it, and it comes the next day. But this week it didn't. I know. And I was getting really stressed. I was like Googling, how late do Amazon deliver? What do I do if my delivery hasn't arrived? And I was getting really stressed about this delivery. And then I took a step back and thought, is it actually that important in life? If my delivery arrives the night or the morning, and it arrived, and the man knocked on the door, and I didn't go, why are you so late? What were you doing? I was like, thank you very much. That's great. But we live in a world that is really, really busy. And we need wisdom and help in that, because that busyness around us can affect our hearts if we're not careful. And I don't know about you, but when people ask me, how was my week? Sometimes I say busy. But people ask me how I'm doing. My two responses are usually I'm fine or I'm okay. And I realize that this is quite a British problem, because when British people say I'm fine, this is basically what it means. It's to warn of your imminent meltdown. So beware if you ask me and I say I'm fine. So this is a problem in our marriage, because my husband's very good with his emotional intelligence, and he'd ask me, how are you? And I'd go, fine. No, how are you? Fine. So he devised this amazing way of helping me recognize my emotions, which was he used smiley faces or not smiley faces. This was pre-emoji days. There was such a time. As my son is saying, learning history, that was in the 1900s, wasn't it? Yeah, it's like, yes, that's when we were all around. So I want you to take a moment now and think about how your week was. And I'm going to help you, all right? I'm going to help you by using some emojis. So I want you to just take a moment and look at these and think, how does this describe your last week? Choose one of these emojis, all right? Don't think too hard overall. And then you can share it. If you'd like to share it with the person next to you or around you, and just say, how was your week? But we're just kind of thinking and reflecting on how our week was, because I don't know, when we met up and the 2-minute countdown, you often ask people, how was your week? And people will reply, busy. How are you? Busy. How is life? Busy. How's work doing? Busy. How are your studies? Busy. What are you up to today? I'm busy. All right? That becomes our vocabulary and our thing. And if you go and ask anyone, although if we go and ask at the back now, anyone, people say, no, I'm not busy, I can't say that. But a man once said, I wanted to try and figure out why I was so busy, but I couldn't find the time to do so. So this is our moment today to think about our lives. Think about the busyness in our lives and how it's affecting us. Because it's inevitable. In today's world, we live in a busy, connected world. But there's a good side and a bad side to it. Busyness isn't bad. We can be super productive. We can get things done. Our jobs require us to do lots of things. We sometimes may be juggling multiple responsibilities. And, we cannot say to, lecturers who say, oh, I want this in by tomorrow, say, oh, well, I'm feeling too busy at the moment. Can I have a rain check? There are pressures on us. And so we live in this busy world. But there's a negative of busyness. It's when it starts to creep into our hearts. And we become rush, busyness inside. Even when we're not doing anything, we're on the tube or the bus, we feel this pressure inside to go. The bus is delayed. Oh my goodness, busy, rush. And for today, I'm going to define that as hurry. So busyness and hurriedness, what's in our heart. And there's a difference between being busy and being hurried. We can be busy without being hurried, but if we're hurried, we are always busy. Let me say that again. We can be busy without being in a hurry, but if we're hurried, we are always busy. We're looking in this series about Jesus, and if you think about the life of Jesus, if you just skim read the Gospels about his life, he was busy. He was walking, he was teaching, he was healing, he was feeding loads of people. He was like, I think about my meal plan for the week. He's feeding 5,000, It's just like he was busy, busy, busy. We're told even that him and his disciples had no leisure time, even not enough time to eat. But yet you read as well that Jesus had margin in his life. He had moments to meet with people. If you think about, he was on his way, someone was like, come and heal my daughter, quick, 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 quite urgent. On his way, and a woman comes and touches his cloak, and he stops. He takes a moment, and he meets her, even though he was on his way. The rest of us, we'd be like, okay, focus, and let's just go. Busy is an external condition. We have loads of tasks to complete. Hurry is an inner state. We become distracted about the many things we have to do. Our soul becomes confused. We become fatigued on the inside. An external busyness is not bad, but it can creep into our hearts. And when it does that, it becomes an issue. Now, what I'm going to do to illustrate busy versus hurried is just show you a 2-minute video of someone just comparing these two.
I'm starting to think there's a difference between being busy and being hurried. Busy, to me, feels like a calendar thing. It's tasks, to-dos, and meetings, but hurry is more of a heart thing. Busy is all about the unavoidable stuff we have to do in life, but hurry is this belief, this attitude that says, doing is my life. Busy happens. Hurry burdens. Busy is a calendar that gets full. Hurry is a heart that's never full. You can be busy but not hurried, but you can't be hurried and not busy. Why? Because a heart that's hurried is always saying there's more to accomplish, more to acquire, more to do, and more to be. A busy person is active, but a hurried heart is sick. Sick with the notion that if I don't do, then I die. My dreams, my joy, my worth, my well-being will wither away. It's an attitude that, ironically, if overindulged, can drive you to an early grave. Does not doing feel like death to you? Does it feel like a threat to your well-being and your worth? If the answer is yes, then you're not just busy, maybe you're hurried. There's a quote that comes to mind. It goes like this: "You have made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless until they find rest in you." Augustine wrote these words about 1,600 years ago. He ties the restlessness of the human heart, the discontent that drives creation to do lest it die, to a much deeper need, to know the grace and love of its creator. Think about that. What if the remedy for a restless and hurried heart isn't to do anything, but to know someone? And how do you get to know someone? Well, it starts by stopping, by clearing the calendar just a bit, to listen, to talk, to believe, despite all the urgency in your heart, that the best path to peace is not to be particularly productive, but to be present. To be present in this moment with this or this particular person.
So, busyness, our calendar, our happening, our full schedule, physically demanding and open to interruptions. But when we're hurried, that's about our hearts, our souls. It's being preoccupied, it's draining on our soul. And we see things as intrusions. And hurry has become so prevalent in our world that actually someone in London University has got this term, hurry sickness. We are suffering from hurry sickness. It's the compulsive feeling that you must hustle or you'll fall behind. So, I'll pretend to be a doctor and I'll share with you the symptoms of hurry sickness and see if you have any. All right? It's getting irritated and restless if you have to wait. How do you feel when the microwave has to do 2 minutes? Let's put it practically. Sometimes we're like, why is it taking 2 minutes? And then we think, I've got 2 minutes. Let me just send an email. Let me do this with that 2 minutes. Right, speeding up. You just have to be more productive. You have to find ways of doing things. Let's put the timer on and see how many things we can do, kids, in 10 minutes. Come on, let's go. So just speeding up the whole time. When listening, do you nod to the person to encourage them to just finish up? Yeah? Like, oh, yeah, tell me, and then what happened? Yeah, and just, because we want them to hurry up and finish. Some people are going, oh, okay, all right. I apologize if I've done that to anyone. But you rush around. You come home at night and you feel like you've got to do 101 things. And even this morning, I did a load of washing and put it out. And Francis was like, why are you running around doing a load of washing before you're speaking this morning? Because I need to get it done because then I've got to iron it this afternoon for school tomorrow. And really, we have this constantly. So I'm not talking as someone who's sussed this. All right? You tell yourself, it's okay, I've got a holiday coming up. It's going to be all right in a few weeks. It'll be all right when. It'll be okay. It will change. All right, another symptom, we escape. We escape by, I'm just going to watch TV, or I'm going to sit and just check social media. All right? You eat too much chocolate. Okay. All right, and you flop into bed with no sense of gratitude and thankfulness for the day. All right, just fatigue. You are tired. And often the chocolate and everything is just trying to fill what's going on in our souls. And why do we do this? It sounds crazy. Why do we do this? Because sometimes the world around us is just so busy. But sometimes it's even more than that. It becomes our identity. If I say, I'm really busy, it can be my identity. It can be like, look, I'm being really productive, and I'm fantastic, aren't I? What did you do yesterday? Well, I did this. You feel bad if you say, what did you do yesterday? And you go, nothing. Really? You know, when people ask, how was your half term? And parents are like, we did this activity, I did this craft, I did this. And you're like, what did you do? Well, we had a pajama day. You know? You feel like, oh my goodness, I've just ruined my kid's life. You know? So sometimes that becomes our identity. Sometimes we need to prove something. Our self-worth is tied up in how busy we are. Sometimes we're just competitive. We want to win. We want to be better. We want to have the Facebook posts going everywhere, doing everything. And sometimes it's just an addiction. We've just got into that lifestyle. To stop seems so odd to us. And sometimes it's to avoid things. Sometimes we know if we stop, we're scared of what we'll find there. And when we're in a hurry, we don't appreciate the people around us. We miss opportunities to serve. We fail to see others. And the biggest serious consequence of hurry is a diminished capacity to love. Love and hurry are fundamentally incompatible. Love takes time. And so when we hurry, we miss out on love. I found this amazing experiment called the Princeton experiment. 2 researchers at Princeton took a group of students and they split them into 2. And one half, they gave them the story of the Good Samaritan. Now, this is a story that Jesus taught, and it's all about people walking down a road and someone being injured on the side of the road and going and helping. And only the Samaritan, who people didn't like in that time, stopped to help. The other half, he gave another story, and they were told to prepare a talk on this. This was going to be an assessment. They had to give a talk. And then they were told, we're really sorry, but we have to move you to a different room. The person who's assessing you is in a different room. And they were split into 3 groups. One was high hurry. They were told, okay, look, it shouldn't take long, but you've only got a minute to get there. The assistant is waiting for you, and you better hurry. Some were told, okay, he's ready for you, so just go right over. And a third group were told, look, don't worry, it's changed, the venue's changed, but take your time. You know, you might even have to wait when you're there. You've got lots of time. So all the students went, and as they walked along the road, there was someone lying there, an actor who was part of the experiment, looking in distress, needing help. So these guys on this side have just read, processed, done a talk on the Good Samaritan, on helping people. These guys haven't. And these are the results. Only 10% of the high hurried, you've got to get there now, students stopped. Only 10%, which means 9 out of 10 walked straight past, even though they just read about helping people. 45 of medium students stopped, and 63% of the low hurry people helped the victim. And the researchers concluded from this that the single greatest factor in demonstrating compassion was whether you're in a hurry or not. Not what you'd read, what you'd processed. And so if we think about the implications for our own lives, you may have goals for this year. You may want to live a certain way, embracing a priority or a value in your family, in your work. You may think, this is what I want to do. You may be thinking every day, have a notice about what you want to achieve with that goal every day. But if we are rushed, even moderately, what you affirm, even deeply, can get pushed aside by the tyranny of the urgent. A hurried life can cost us. It can cost us our goals. It can cost us knowing God. It can decrease our compassion and cost us meaningful relationships. So how do we get over this hurry? Well, Jesus was busy but never hurried. So let's see what he has to say. And we're going to go to Matthew 11, verse 28. Jesus said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." He said, "Come to me." The cure for rest is to come to Jesus. And he said, "Come to me, all of you," not all who are really needed, everyone. If you're feeling hurried, you're not hurried, you're busy with everything, you're a student, a business person, a mum, whatever, all come to me, and I will give you rest. Because rest has something, his rest, it's a confidence of coming to Jesus and being loved unconditionally. He went on, "Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls." You see, the rest Jesus was talking about was not a nice holiday in Mauritius. All right? It wasn't external. It was internal. He's not talking about physical rest. He's talking about a rest for our souls, our minds, our wills, our emotions, soul rest, which is deeper than any kind of rest. It's not circumstantial. And then he goes on and says, "For my yoke is easy to bear and the burden I give you is light." This is the only place in the Bible where you find the word easy. Easy. This is easy. And it's a soul word. It's not a circumstantial word. It's not about our lives being easy. Yeah, not Jesus saying, "Hey, go and, sit at a beach somewhere and, just rest and, don't worry about a thing." All right? It's living life in the busyness, but having an ease on the inside. You see, the more ease you have on the inside, the more soul rest, the more you can handle on the outside, because it doesn't affect you. Really, you need to be like a submarine. All right? Just say to yourself, I need to be like a submarine. Okay, and I'll explain why. Because submarines, all right, the lower they go on the water, the greater pressure is pushing in on them. If you just take a metal can and put it into the depths of water, it crushes with the external pressure going down. The only reason a submarine survives, and the people inside it survives as it goes deeper with greater pressure, is because the pressure within is greater than the pressure without. The pressure within is greater than the pressure without. And what Jesus is saying, the yoke is easy. I've come to give you soul rest. Is whether you're facing exams, deadlines, whatever you're facing, is that as long as the pressure within you, your soul rest is greater than the external circumstances, you will thrive. You will be amazing. Dallas Willard, a philosopher, said, "If your soul is healthy, no external circumstance can destroy your life. Nothing. If your soul, your inside is healthy. But if it's unhealthy, no external circumstance can redeem it." And so often we look for the external to redeem what's going on inside. But actually, if our souls are healthy, nothing can affect us. Disease, circumstance, the good or the bad, we will have our true identity and true rest in Jesus. So what is our soul? C.S. Lewis, he quoted a guy called George MacDonald, said, "You don't have a soul, You are a soul and you have a body. It's what's in us. It's our minds, our wills, our emotions. Our soul encompasses and integrates all of that. And Dallas Willard went on to say, what is running your life at any given moment is your soul. Not external circumstances, not your thoughts, not your intentions, not even your feelings, but your soul. The soul is that aspect of your whole being that correlates, integrates, and enlivens everything that goes on. So this is awesome. You might have identified now, I've got a bit of a worry or hurry problem in my soul. Okay, but what do I do about it? So what we're going to do now is spend some time practically thinking about what Jesus said and applying it to our lives. Because you may be weary. You might be carrying burdens. You might have come in here today just barely making it, exhausted, worried about, as Dan shared earlier, stuff that's going on in your heart or stuff that's going on externally. And Jesus promises rest for your souls. And it's my prayer that you will walk out of here today finding rest in your souls and rest for the week. So we're going to look at 3 ways to do this, all right? Margin, moment, and meeting Jesus, all right? I did Google Jesus emoji, just to say, all right? All right, so it's margin, moment, and meeting Jesus. These are 3 practical ways that you can have this soul rest. So first of all, margin. You see, our life is like a page. We write down loads of things. Let's get a nice foolscap page there. Sorry, if the lines are going slightly blurred, it's an optical illusion thing. Don't worry, you don't need to go to the opticians, all right? So, but this is a page. Do you write on all of it? No, you only write on this bit on the right and you leave the bit on the left. You leave a margin. And that's like our lives. So often we fill our lives to 100% full and we don't leave margin for anything. Right? Where's the wiggle room in your life? Where's just the elbow room to just be or just to meet with Jesus? So how do we do this practically? It's great, but how do we do it practically? Well, it's intentionally leaving margin in our lives. It's booking appointments and leaving buffers either side. It's saying maybe no to things. Like we've looked at the calendar and our November looks really busy and there's one Saturday that's free. So we've put it in Family Day. That's a margin day for us to connect as a family. We don't know what we're going to do on that day. Maybe another pajama day. But we'll see, all right? We'll see. We've intentionally created margin in our lives. All right? Buffer zones. In a wildfire, there's buffer zones all around to stop hurry creeping out. And buffer zones or margins help the hurry coming into our overloaded schedule. Because we need margins for interruptions. Like Jesus, as we said, was walking along and the woman came to him and touched his cloak. Margin creates room for interruptions rather than intrusions. Margin creates room for opportunities. You might be so busy and someone comes to you with the most amazing opportunity you've been trusting God for. Wow, here it is. Can you do this? And you're like, I can do it January the 14th, 2019. Was that good for you? You know, margin creates room for opportunities. It creates room for interruptions in our life. And that's one way that we can do it. The second way, so we've got margin, is moment. I'm giving you a moment. All right? But often we think of moments and we think, okay, when I can have a holiday, at the end of term, when my exams are over, when this busyness is over, when the year ends, I will take a moment. But Jesus lived in a way where he created moments through the minutes, the hours, the days. A lifestyle of moments. Jesus was frequently going off for times of solitude, and he commissioned his disciples, and they went off doing stuff, miracles, everything, and they came back to him and like, yeah, we just had the most amazing time, it's incredible, let's go. And often we're like that. I mean, apparently on the first day of school, when I was 4.5, apparently I came back to my mum and said, she said, how was school? And I said, it's great, can I go again tomorrow? So we often just want to go, go, go. And that's what like Jesus' disciples were. We can do this, Jesus. We've got this. And what did Jesus do? He didn't say, yeah, go. He said, okay, well, let's just go away for a bit and be. See, Jesus modeled just going away in the busyness. When everyone was looking for him, people were coming and going. He said, come and get some rest. And we have to work hard nowadays to do that because we're constantly wired in. We're constantly connected to our devices. And this actually increases the stress hormone, which is there for fighting and fleeing from things. But we're constantly living with that. So we're a constant state of crisis and partial attention so that we can't rest. And the thing is, you think, oh, that's really nice, Deb. But actually, pausing can have life consequence. There's something called the surgical pause. All right, and I have checked it out with Anne-Marie, our resident surgeon. So the surgical pause was introduced when surgeons are sitting in the operating theatre and someone comes in as a checklist. Have we got the right person? Are we taking off the right limb or whatever we're doing? Are we doing what we should be doing? And going through a check with everybody's okay and everybody knows what they're doing. A pause, a moment. And then at the end of the operation, checking that what care is needed going forward. Have we got everything that we put in? Has it come out again? We haven't left any swabs and things in there. And Anne-Marie said that this is the only safety initiative that's been proved to have a measurable effect. There was one article that said it could cut deaths by 40%, and for 18-month trial in the States, the program saved more than 1,500 lives and $200 million. All because people took a moment. Taking a moment saves lives. So how do we do this? Well, practically, it's taking moments, pausing. And for some of us, it may be just putting on our phone throughout the day. Pause. Take a moment. Reminding to take a moment in the busyness. It's sitting on a bus on the way to work and just looking out rather than getting on our device and taking a moment intentionally. Stilling our souls and allowing Jesus to come in there. Because the word rest means cessation from any motion. In Psalms, there's a wonderful verse that says, be still. And last year, God kept speaking this to me, be still. It's my word last year in January, so I sat still for a minute. It was great, and I was like, check, done, be still. All right? And then God said, well, a bit more, need a bit more. So worked it up to 5 minutes. I was just the queen of being still. And God was like, no, I want you to continue being still. I was like, God, no, we moved on to the next thing, be still. And it was getting boring because every time I went to God and said, what is it? Be still. I was like, okay. So then I thought, well, let me go and read about what be still actually means. And in the Hebrew, be still means letting go. It means letting go. We can only be still in our souls when we let go to God. We trust God with our lives and we push back on everything that we can actually be still in our souls and find rest in our souls. And it seems a bit odd that to be still, you've got to be active. Kind of seems a bit contradictory. But if you can be still, and it's capturing, and I've learned to capture moments of being still. If I find myself realizing my soul is hurried, that I capture those moments and just say, okay, I let go. And the second part of the verse, and know that you are God. I let go of what I'm concerned about. I let go of that anxiousness, that hurry, the external circumstances that are creeping into my heart. And I know that you are God and you've got this. So this is all great, but we need to practice this. So I'm going to show you a video now. And I just want you to be quiet during this video and watch this. You see, the thing is that ultimately why we take margins, why we have moments, is to meet Jesus. We will only find rest if we meet Jesus. He's the one who says, come. Come to me. It's an invitation. It's saying, don't do life on your own. I can see you're hurried and burdened. Come. Come to meet with me. Not meet with me and I'll give you a 3-point plan on how to get rid of your busyness. Don't come to me and I'll give you rules and diary organization and a new planner. Come to me, a person. Come to me and listen and hear what I am saying to your situation. Come to me and hear what I want to say to your circumstance. And he says, I will give you rest. Going on holiday is not going to give you soul rest. Changing your external circumstances is not going to give you soul rest. We only find rest in Jesus, meeting with Jesus. And how? He says, take my yoke. My yoke is easy. And that means just side by side, synchronizing our steps with Jesus, just doing what he would have us do. No more, no less. See, busyness migrates to hurry when we squeeze Jesus out of our lives. We cannot live kingdom of God with a hurried soul. We cannot rest in God with a hurried soul. Jesus says, just lay everything aside, be still, and come to me. And so I want to ask you this morning, what is Jesus saying to you? What is Jesus saying to you this morning? And I want to actually practically, because I know as soon as we walk out those doors, we're going to be thinking about lunch, thinking about everything we've got to prepare for this week. So I want to give you a moment right now to apply this. We are going to take a moment. I'm going to create margin for you so you can meet Jesus. And what we're going to do is just pause, take a moment, and I just wanted you to take a few moments and say, Jesus, what are you saying to me right now? What are you saying to my soul? Because I can give you 3-point plans, etc., but Jesus knows you. He says, come to me. I know what you need. I am here and I can give you rest. So what we're going to do is just take a moment. I'm just going to put a very calming slide up. That one. There we go. And we're just going to take a moment. We're not going to play any music. We're just going to take a moment. And I want you to focus on Jesus. What are you saying to me? And if you're here this morning and you don't know Jesus, you've come to church with someone, hopefully you want to find out who Jesus is. Ask him and just say, Jesus, show me. If you're real, show me that you can speak into my busyness, into my hurried heart, into the burdens and the things that I'm holding today. So let's just take a moment. Okay, for some of you, that seemed like a hugely long time. And you were like saying, when's she going to carry on? But that's what we need to do. We need to practice. It doesn't come easy stopping when we're so used to being hurried. But that's the only way that we can meet with Jesus, and Jesus is the answer to our souls. But I want you to do something else as well, because you can walk out of here as well, having had a moment. Maybe Jesus has spoken to you. But I want to practically see how it's going to impact your week. And I want you to make an I will statement about how what you've experienced with Jesus and what Jesus has said to you can make an impact in this week. And it may be that it's just like, I will take a moment. Now, when you make an I will statement, you don't want to make it really vague, because then you know we can check in it. I will just love Jesus more. I will just be a better person. I will be a more smiley person. Whatever. You need to make it specific. If it's about having moments this week, I will take a moment, 5 minutes every morning, and just be still. I will. One decision I made a few weeks ago was I will leave my phone downstairs, even though it's got my Bible reading app, and I will go old school and read a paper Bible. Which has made such a difference, because I don't then check all the messages coming in before I meet with Jesus in the morning. So I want you to just now take a few moments and make an I will statement. I will. What are you going to do this week to create margin, take moments, and meet with Jesus? And then I want your phones out, and I want you to put it as a reminder for Monday or Wednesday or whenever you're going to need reminding of this. All right, so make an I will statement. What are you going to do this week? Or write it on a piece of paper, write it on your hand, share it with someone next to you. I will. And this is when it gets tough, because it's lovely to come to a nice message and maybe you felt better and it's all good. But actually, we want to live this Jesus life on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. And this is just a way of helping us do this. Do you want your busy, hurried life still? Because unless you change, it's going to be the same. So what's one little thing that you can do this week? And I challenge you to share that with someone. As you go out, say, what is your I will statement? If you see people during this week, maybe at Connect Group or just during the week, what's the I will statement you made? How's it going? And encourage one another. If they've done 1 day out of 7 with what they were going to do, awesome. Fantastic. Let's encourage one another towards better things. Because it's my desire that, as 3 John 1 verse 2 says, Beloved, I pray for you that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. And the way our soul prospers is to meet with Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. Pray that we eliminate hurry from our lives. We will be busy but not hurried, and we will find rest for our souls. So as we finish up, I just want to pray for us all, because we all experience hurry. It's no good saying, hey, stand up or put your hands up if you're busy and feel hurried, because that would be 99% of us. So I'm just going to pray for all of us that during this week, we will find time to have margins, take moments, and meet Jesus. Let's pray. Jesus, we thank you for your words, the words that bring life, that you say, come to me, all who are weary, all who are heavy laden. And Lord, we give you our loads. We give you where we're heavy laden. We come to you that we might find rest for our souls. Lord, help us in this week. Apply what we've learned, Lord God. Live out, finding soul rest with you, finding moments and margins to meet with you, that your words would bring rest to our souls. Whatever is happening externally, whatever's happening, those burdens that creep in, that we would live free in our souls, rested in our souls, alive in you, Jesus. Amen.